I've missed this one. I was Excalibur fanboy, you know. I thought I'm gonna just make this one the greatest possible frame and I'm not gonna need anything else than his Exalted Blade. And by just one-tapping those, I instantly reminded myself of the big issue with Exalted Blade, which is the kill per second possible, because the wave disappears after 3 kills. And I mean, it's not that big of an issue, you can just swing again, but you know, it looks way cooler if you can just send one wave like I did with Kulero and Siam and completely level the playfield. So initially that was the build I started with, but I realized that Fury's Javelin is a simple but a huge overkill of the damage, so I just swapped it out for adaptation for the extra survival that I knew I'm gonna need whenever I take him to Steel Path. And Arcane Strike and Arcane Fury is a simple 2 Arcanes melee combo. But for example, if you're using Berserker Fury on the Exalted Blade itself, you can just go for Arcane Avenger instead of the Arcane Strike. Like using Slash Dash, so I helmet Kulero's Wrathful Advance over it, because I wanna like play the game, not do the fucking Slash Dash automatic killing for me. I use Rauta because I have primary dexterity on it, and I use Grimoire with secondary dexterity on it, and Vom Invocation. Exalted Blade just needs like the initial ability power when you cast it, so you can just use it once, as long as you keep your Exalted Blade for the entire duration. And I use Ceramic Dagger with bunch of set mods that activate for Umbra in any case, cause well, you're not gonna use it, you're just gonna swing with Exalted Blade. And Exalted Blade is a simple build, just 2 sacrificials, some damage, some attack speed, condition overload as a must, since we're gonna use the dog primer. We're gonna use viral version of it with heat, since we're gonna be using corrosive for the initial damage that it provides for our Exalted Blade. Since we're using chromatic blade, if you wanna try hard, like when you go into Corpus, you can just put toxin on your appearance, like a green color, to get full toxin, to go bypass the shields on Corpus, corrosive into Greeneer, and you can just remove it to get slash back into infested. I don't know, I just always use corrosive. It's just like one of the best elements. If you just have a primer with viral, you don't really have to ever swap it. But if you have any struggle of survival, you can just use Eclipse, and it's gonna work just as fine. But Eclipse is like the best damage reduction you can get for Umbra. Paired with adaptation, it should keep you safe at all times. But in my experience, I don't really struggle to survive while I have solely the adaptation mod on, so I went with the possibly biggest possible damage he can get, which is Wrathful Advance and 5 purple Archon shards, since his energy by baseline is high enough to get easy the double effect without any other mod than primed flaw. Just remember that I'm using Madurai to snapshot my Exalted Blade after void slinging and using Grimoire alternate fire, so whenever I die it doesn't really matter for me, because I'm just gonna press my 1 whenever I'm in operator mode, and I'm gonna freely resurrect myself with operator damage. I used to try to make Umbra with Naramon and base of the combo points, but I realized that if you have primary dexterity and you're getting the combo points, if you have it double, the primary and secondary dexterity, you're gonna easily keep your combo points up, since you're mainly using the Exalted Blade. So I took it for a quick run in mod, Steel Path obviously. Let's see how he deals with enemies that don't stand still and just eat it. I got my Void Sling up, I'm gonna get my alternate fire ability strength from Grimoire now. And then I activate my Exalted Blade, just as I did in the Simulacrum. Also using Carni's set mods, so whenever I use my heavy attack, I have 20% avoidance, and I remove and get 4 seconds of immunity to any status effects. So it includes knockdowns, since knockdown is a status effect on you. As long as I'm actually playing the game and heavy attacking from time to time, and as you can see, you can use the Nokai for it if you wanna keep your combos up, I should be completely fine. The only time I'm gonna die ever playing this is when I don't pay attention, because Umbra is not like walk through the game Warframe that you can play completely ignoring everything, you need to look on your HP, because you actually can die. Well, not at least, unless you play Eclipse, that is. But since I'm not always paying attention, this is the reason why I'm playing Madurai. Like, I don't mind dressing myself sometimes when I fuck up and I don't look at my HP, or I just don't heavy swing. Like, Exalted Blade gameplay gets like really FK style in your head, because you would just walk towards your enemies, constantly swinging the normal attack because of the waves you're sending, and for some reason it's really satisfying. Let's get to all the cons now, because this should be a full punch through wave. It should not disappear after it kills few enemies. It should be like Siam, but a better version. That's a fucking ability, exalted weapon, and the theme of the Warframe's poster boy. It cannot be worse than like other normal Nikana with a gimmick. Like, this shit needs some love, because the kill per second on it is lackluster to say the least. And this is really the biggest issue, the kill per second on Exalted Blade. You can swing with 500% attack speed, it won't change much. The waves should get a mod or anything to increase the speed on them, and they should be full punch through. The weapon is like quite outdated stats as well. The crit and the crit damage multiplier is a bit low. Sure, you have insane status, but look how easy it is to get them die instantly. Like, I would rather get some punch through, and instead of blinding on my slide attack, I'd rather to have like some explosive AoE nuke. So I could like actually go for some like range and play Furious Javelin without Chromatic Blade. Cause Slash isn't bad either. Cause when you play Chromatic Blade, you're losing the Slash. So you only have the elemental damage part. But compared to Simulacrum in like a mission like this, the survival, you could easily hit like 40 plus enemies with the Furious Javelin. And that would give you an insane amount of percentage damage increase to your melee damage. I'm thinking to myself, it's fine, because the status chance is really high with the Chromatic Blade, and you can snap it, just stack all the ability power from Grimoire and other sources, then cast it and use it for like the rest of mission. You can see you have blind rage, and you can easily like keep up the Exalted Blade. You just have to swing and kill, and Nagi drop's gonna be like enough. You don't have narrow-minded for the duration and less cost on Exalted Blade per second, because you will always need blind to stay alive. Like, I use Brief Respite or Augur mods on the Grimoire to get the shields, because no matter what, you will be dying on Umbra, or you will be having less fun. What's fun for me? Big damage. And I sacrifice the survival part for the big damage. But that also makes me engaged into the game, so most of the time I'm paying attention and staying alive. But Exalted Blade needs some buffs, some love, especially for the punch through. But look, Misery comes and Misery goes after I get up. Well, sadly, when I was still his fanboy, I thought he's the peak of the melee frames, the biggest god of the melee. So I mained everything around him. But sadly, the truth is different. He ain't even remotely close to Kullervo or Voruna. And that's because Exalted Blade needs some love. Like, it should work with melee influence. That's all I wanna say. If it works with melee influence, kill per second, the punch through, everything's fixed. As long as melee influence would work for it. Especially with the Chromatic Blade giving you like the possibility of getting easy electricity on it. And this is a build if you wanna use any other melee. Simply Avenger or Strike if you need attack speed on it. Adaptation, Furious Javelin instead Chromatic Blade. Since, well, you're gonna helmet over the Exalted Blade, so you're not even able to put it in. If it bases on combos, you get Surging Dash. If it doesn't, you keep Adaptation. But for me, I hate staying alive with Surging Dash. It sucks. I hate it. Especially into Infested. But well, that would be all from me. So if you liked it, you can like, comment, share and subscribe. And as always, see you in the next one.